Welcome to Permission to Leap, a podcast exploring the stories of people who have brought their visions to life. Each week, I will speak to an inspiring guest and navigate the process they took to take the leap in their own lives, from the day that they first committed to the day that they landed on the other side of their leap. Permission to Leap is the spark that will push you to believe in your dreams again and make them your reality.
Today's guest is Amanda Bourne. Amanda is a professional makeup artist, hairstyling, and beauty editor based outside of Los Angeles, California. Coming from a strong educational background, she began her freelance journey as an undergrad at the University of California, Santa Barbara. While earning her bachelor's degree in sociology with a minor in professional writing, Amanda spent her free time practicing makeup looks on anyone that would let her. Upon graduating, she moved back to Los Angeles to pursue an administrative career, but quickly learned that she could no longer avoid her longing to be creative. After gaining multiple years of experience as a project coordinator as well as a manager at a high-end retail location, Amanda decided to dive headfirst into the industry and freelance makeup and hair full-time. Along her journey, she's collaborated with some of the best in the industry, and her fun, creative, and driven personality has gained the trust of multiple publications. Specializing in clean beauty and editorial looks, Amanda also believes in the importance of skincare just as much as makeup application. Her style is sought after by many major publications to enhance beauty, not overpower it with product. While she has very notable clients and publications under her belt, Amanda looks forward to growing as an artist and professional while educating others on the importance of consistency and professionalism in this ever-growing beauty industry. All right. Welcome to Permission to Leap. I have an amazing guest with me today. This is Miss Amanda Bourne. She is a hairstylist, a makeup artist, and a beauty editor. And she and I met through an event called Empower Her here in Los Angeles. And we didn't actually meet at the event. She ended up writing an article about the event afterwards, and I read it and then stalked her on social media. I'm not gonna lie, and was so impressed with everything I saw. So Amanda's gonna talk to us today about the leap that she's taken in her career in getting into the beauty industry and kind of how it's all played out. So, hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. Welcome.
Yeah, I actually just got here just in time. I had a job right now, 10 minutes to spare, then hopped on my computer, so it all worked out.
Welcome. So I would love for you to kind of just start with, where did this journey begin for you?
With doing makeup and hair and everything. Yeah. So I actually went to college right outside of high school. And while I was in college, I was freelancing, makeup, kind of doing it on my own for friends and family. And I graduated from school, and when I graduated, I thought I was going to get one of those, imaginary 100K jobs that you get when you graduate, and that didn't happen. So I ended up doing a few jobs that I didn't really like. I got into some admin stuff and I quit that. I realized that it wasn't for me, and I went to pursue makeup. So I pursued makeup full time about 4 years ago.
Awesome. And you told me that you started pursuing it under a different, you were working at Nordstrom's for a while?
Yeah, so I did the admin job, and when I was there, I was like, this has nothing to do with what my passion is, and I decided that I was going to quit and go to Nordstrom, because I thought, well, I could get some management experience, and then I could also get trained and then get some ins, just to practice on makeup, because you get all different faces and, eye shapes and stuff when you're working in a department store, so I figured it would be good experience.
Awesome. So what was the kind of catalyst for you to break from that and then start out on your own?
Yeah, so I was freelancing here and there at Nordstrom. I was doing tests, so I had hit up a few photographers and I started testing, and I realized that the jobs that I was getting were starting to interfere with Nordstrom a little bit. So that's when I kind of had to make a decision, I want to do this full time. I know that this is what I'm passionate about, but I also need to pay my bills. But if the jobs are coming and I'm sort of getting known with people, then I need to take advantage of that, and I need to just kind of jump into into it. So I ended up getting a gig writing for a magazine, and the amount that I was getting was like just enough to make my car payment and like my insurance. So I was like, you know what, if my car is covered, then I think that with enough hustle that I can make enough money to do this full time. So as soon as I got that writing gig, I was like, I'm just going to do it. And I just quit, and I decided to pursue freelancing.
Awesome. So what was it? Was there something specific about freelancing that really just made your heart sing more than, because it's easy oftentimes to stay in jobs that have that security, but
Right.
they don't light us up. So
Yeah.
what was it about the freelancing that really sparked your interest?
I knew that I have to be my own boss. That's just like my personality. It's important to me. And I love networking with other people, and I love collaborating with other artistic people. And when you're working retail, it's really 90% sales and like 10% artistry. And I think a lot of people get confused about that when they jump into retail. They think they're just going to be an artist, but they prefer that you sell. Selling is an amazing skill, and it's definitely something that I utilize in freelancing, but it just wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to be my own boss, work with other creatives, and just have a different location every single day, work with different people every single day, because that's just how like my mind works. I like my day to change up.
Awesome. And so let's talk about the beginning of that freelance
Yeah.
experience for you, because this was kind of one of the things that really sparked my interest when we were talking. So what did those days look like for you when you were first getting into freelance?
When I first started, I mean, I knew some people, but it takes years really to develop your reputation. The people that you're working with, they have to trust you, and then they start recommending you for things. So what I did was, when I quit, I started, I would look up like a salon that was in a certain area and see how many other salons were in like a couple mile radius, and I would walk to the different salons with my business cards and just hand them out and introduce myself to people, and just let them know that I was a freelancer if they wanted to set up any events with me. I didn't get a lot of response from that. I got some. I would leave my cards different places, and then I would go to Starbucks. I would like make myself do like office hours, and I would go to Starbucks and I would email everyone. I would look up photographers, I would look up models, I would look up agencies, anyone in my area, anyone that I knew someone that knew someone, and just email them, sent them some of my some photos from my portfolio, just to try to get them to work with me. And some people responded back, and that's just kind of like, it would just kind of snowball from there. With that, I was just like constantly like getting in contact with other people.
Awesome. So let's talk about that, because that can be one of the hardest things. I know that's
Yeah.
something I still struggle with, is
Mhm.
putting yourself out there like that, talking to people like that, doing the cold outreach. Oh my God, walking into a
Yeah.
place like that's
Mhm.
terrifying, right?
Yeah, it was
So
scary.
what was the process for you? Like, did you have to talk yourself up? When you got rejected, did you have any moments where you were like, fuck it, I'm out? Like,
Yeah. I mean, I totally had those. Like, there were some salons that they had no part of it. Like, they weren't interested in meeting with me. They were busy, and I just tried to be as friendly as I could, and I would leave them business cards. But yeah, sometimes when you get responses from people that like they don't want to hear from you, especially face to face, that's a lot harder. You're emailing someone and you don't hear back. You get bummed, but you're kind of like, oh, well, maybe they're busy, maybe this and that. You can make excuses for someone. But when you walk in somewhere and they clearly don't want to talk to you, it's kind of like, oh, that sucks. Like, it's not a good feeling. But I think working in sales probably really helped me with that, because you get no's in the department store, and you got to kind of keep at it and try to like still sell yourself. So I just was like, I would leave my business cards anyway, and who knows, like if still they would change their mind later.
yeah, that's a good perspective, because I know it can be so hard not to take it personally. And like you
Yeah.
said,
Hmm.
especially if you're face to face with someone,
Yeah,
putting yourself out there that way, like it can be so easy to stay on your computer and just like send those
exactly.
emails.
Yeah.
And I always say to people, if you are going to email someone, pick up the phone.
Yes.
Pick up the
Definitely
phone
follow up
and
with a
call
phone
them.
call.
You know,
Mhm.
it's so important to have that, like, one, the tenacity, but also the boldness to actually do those things.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it definitely took a lot. And there were some days, I'm not gonna lie, there were some days where I would be like, okay, I would give myself a goal, like I'm gonna hit 5 salons and this many like spas or whatever. And I would have someone that just like wasn't feeling it. And then I was like, you know what, maybe I'll do like 3 salons, or I'll go to a bridal shop and then I'll feel like I'll have like more people there. So then I won't do as many. So yeah, I mean, some days were more successful than others, but I still made it a point to kind of make it my job. I had to like organize myself as if I was working for someone, even though you're working for yourself, you're on your own time. It's like so hard to manage that time, but I really had to force myself to do it.
I was gonna say, what was that hump that you like to get over? Yeah, on the
Mm-hmm.
days that you didn't want to, on the days when you're like, I could just stay at home, or
Yeah.
what was there anything that you told yourself, or how did you kind of like pick yourself up to move forward?
I think it was like I would get a response from someone. So somebody, even if it wasn't like a booking, it would be like, oh, thank you so much for reaching out to me. Or a salon owner would say, you know what, like prom, season is coming up and we are going to have something going on. And then I would be like, okay, I'm motivated. Like at least someone is like throwing me a bone and they're like kind of willing to work with me. Like those little bits, like even if it wasn't like a full on hiring, it still was enough for me to feel motivated. Like, okay, I am, making steps towards something. Even when you aren't getting responses, something like that can keep you from feeling like stagnant, and then you can still keep going.
Yeah.
And I had bills. Like I was like, I need to work. Like I get your job. Like you need to make money. So keep meeting people.
Yeah, I love that because oftentimes I feel like we overlook the little like winks from the universe
Yes.
that are like the teeniest, tiniest little openings. And then we tell stories about like, oh, well, it wasn't a job, so it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
I really love that you took those little winks and you were like,
Mhm.
this means something,
Yeah.
it means that I need to keep going today.
Yeah, I think for me, because I did do jobs that I knew weren't right for me, and all the other jobs that I had been in previously, I was working them, and I'm like, I know that I'm gaining experience, and from every job that I have, like I've utilized that in what I'm doing, but I just like, this isn't for me, this isn't for me. But when I started working on set and doing makeup and collaborating with other artists, I was like, this is exactly what I'm supposed to do. So it kind of like, that also was my motivator, was like, you're on the right path, so just keep at it. It's going to be hard, but keep doing it.
Well, and the thing I think that's so cool too is that you were doing that 4 years ago and you just posted something on Facebook talking about how this woman picked your business card up back then. Like
Yeah.
4 years ago. So
Yeah.
tell us, I know she commented on something, but tell us about that.
Yeah, so what happened with that was I ended up doing a shoot that got posted for Vogue. And so it was now on their online portfolio. And from when I was doing the Starbucks thing back in the day, every single time I would leave a Starbucks, I would put my business cards up on their bulletin board. And I never recalled really getting any business from that, but I just like the idea of putting my name out there. And when I had posted this photo that had ended up in Vogue, this woman that I had no idea had picked up my business card 4 years ago had left a comment saying that she's been following my career since then, since she picked up my business card in a Starbucks, and she just was really happy for me that I'm like becoming more successful. And I think that was when I was really checked, like, wow, like even when you feel like you're not making as much progress as you would like to, other people are noticing that. And it made me really stop and like realize that I had hit a milestone, and that like I'm where I was and where I am now.
That's beautiful. Yeah, it can be so easy, like back 4 years ago when you'd leave all those business cards
Yeah,
and then not hear anything. It could be really easy to be like, this isn't working. This is
exactly.
failing.
Yeah.
I need to stop putting myself out there because clearly no one's paying attention. And people
Right.
were paying attention. You
Mhm.
just didn't have the perspective at the time to see it.
Exactly.
And so
Yeah.
4 years later, I mean, that's amazing. This woman's clearly been following your journey and remembered,
Right.
I love that. So
Yeah.
tell us though about the day that you were going to that shoot, because you didn't know that shoot was a Vogue shoot.
I did not know. So that was one of my sort of like check-in days, which I hadn't had in a while. I've been kind of, I don't want to say autopilot, but things have been going at a steady pace. And it was at this mansion in Beverly Hills. I had never been there before. Usually you have never gone to your location before. And the roads are super windy. I had taken a wrong turn. It was like 100 degrees outside. It was super hot and I was worried that I was going to be late for the shoot. And it was a test shoot. So testing is when you feel out the photographer and the model and everyone's kind of getting together to build their portfolios. It's not like a job. So I'm lost. I'm trying to turn around in this tight street and get to this place, to this job that I'm not even getting paid. And I was just like, why am I doing this? Like, this is hard. Like, this is frustrating. And I haven't asked myself why like that in a while. And when I stopped and I was turning my car around, I was like, there's literally nothing else that I want to do. I'm doing this because I love doing this. I'm passionate about it. And even when it's hot, even when the days are long, even when you make no money, I love what I do. So as I was driving to get back on the road to the right location to get to that place, I was like, you don't want to do anything else. You know, I've met so many people. I have a degree. If I wanted to go do another job full time, I could certainly do that, you know, but I don't want to do that. I decided that it's worth it. It is worth it. And I know that I go to these jobs without expectations, and a lot of times I meet amazing people or awesome things happen, and in this situation the photos ended up in Vogue,
Right.
so
I love
and
that.
I had no idea that was going to be the case.
And had you kind of sucked into that, like, you know, oh, fuck this, I'm
Right.
tired and I'm hot and I'm angry and I'm not going to go. I mean, I love the tenacity that you show in all these situations. In
Yeah.
fact, that's a little bit how we ended up in the same room together as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Almost didn't come.
I almost
to
didn't
the
go.
calendar event.
Yeah, that was another day where I had come from a job and I was fighting traffic from like Santa Monica to downtown LA, and I was late already, and I hate being late. So like I've been in situations where I was like, I'd rather not even go if I'm late because that's just like so embarrassing. And I was talking myself out of it, which I found is something that I do sometimes when I know something is going to better me. I'll kind of be like, oh, you don't really need this. Like, you don't really need it. And it's like, why are you trying to talk yourself out of this positive experience? Like, you deserve this. You deserve to do something for yourself. It's okay that you're late. So I did it. I parked, I went, and that experience was just amazing. Like, I was so happy that I went.
Yeah, I find that too. I definitely have the homebody syndrome where I just want to like hang out at home with my cats all the time.
Yeah.
And so I do the same thing where I'm on my couch and I'm like, do I really want to go to this event?
Yeah.
But it's true that the ones that are really, I feel like the things that call to you the most are the things that we oftentimes have the most resistance to. And
Yes.
so obviously, like, had you not come to that event, we wouldn't be having this
We
conversation
would not. We
right
would
now.
not be. Mm-hmm.
So awesome. What do you feel like has been the most challenging part of this leap or this journey for you?
I think it's probably the inconsistency of it. And that's something you'll hear with artists that have been working for a long time. Also, you really have to get used to that. You'll have like an amazing month, an amazing few months, an amazing year, and then there's slow times to it. And it really doesn't matter. Yeah, at every stage of your career, you're going to feel that. So not only do you have to constantly be hustling. So like even if you have an amazing month and you're working every day, on your downtime, you should still be cold emailing and connecting with people and reminding people that you're still available, because you have to set yourself up for the months ahead. So that's when like you don't really get to sit back and enjoy like the success of whatever labor you've done. You have to continue laboring, otherwise you're not going to be set up for success later, and you already know what that feels like and you don't want to do it, so you got to keep going. And I think that's just the challenge, is like, yeah, you're like super excited about what you're doing, but also keep reaching out to people because you already know what'll happen if you don't.
Yeah, that stagnancy where
Yes.
things just kind of lull and pause.
Mm-hmm.
So awesome. And what has been the most rewarding part of this leap or this journey for you?
I think it's just I'm doing what I love to do. Like I really do feel like this is what I'm meant to do, and I get to meet other creative people and create art and make people feel beautiful and kind of like put beauty out in the world. Makeup artists, hairstylists, like we're therapists also, you know, like people sit down and just tell us their whole life stories. And I love being able to not only make them feel pretty or develop this look or create art with them, but I also get to know them and also kind of like help soothe them or like help them deal with whatever it is that they're going through, you know? So I really do feel like I have the greatest job in the world. Like I work with amazing people and I get to have different experiences every day and meet different people every day. And it's awesome.
Nice. And what is next for you?
I've been like kind of trying to set up like my 5-year plan. They say like you overestimate what you can do in a year and you underestimate what you can do in 5 or something like that. So I'm kind of like, okay, what direction do I want to go in? And I really would love to be agency signed and represented. I've been working on my own. I have like insane hustle, but there's always bigger fish, and like fish that I maybe wouldn't be able to get to on my own. So I think that would be next step. And also being an educator, there's so many makeup artists right now. The industry is very oversaturated by people because it's so with Instagram and social media, it's much more attainable. When
Yeah.
I grew up learning makeup, it was like Kevin Aquan books and magazines, and you grabbed someone and you were trying to recreate something on your friend, having no idea about the technical breakdown. You just kind of figured it out on your own. Now artists have tutorials and they're jumping out there and they're trying to work, but it's not as easy as they think it is. And there's so much more that goes into it, the business aspect of it, the networking aspect of it, all of that on top of the skill that you need to be able to do it and to do it quickly. So I would love to educate people on how to do that and how to do it successfully, so that way our industry stays, like that way it's golden, so that way it doesn't become oversaturated and something people don't take seriously. Because as much as I love my job and I take it very seriously, though what we do is important, so I want to make sure that it stays that way.
Awesome. Beautiful. I love those
Yeah.
two things for you.
Thank you.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you for sharing all of your insights with us. And I know I reflected this back to you when we had our other call, but I just wanted to say, like, I I feel like the results you're getting right now are directly related to the tenacity you've had over the last 4 years.
Thank you.
And if our listeners take anything away from this, this chat,
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's a really important thing, because it can look so easy and glamorous to like
Yes.
show up to a Beverly Hills mansion and like,
Mm-hmm.
put some makeup on someone's face and, great for the day. But
Right.
you have really consistently over 4 years put yourself out there
Mm-hmm.
time and time and time again, whether it be, cold emailing or walking into salons or showing up at test shoots or, networking and business
Yeah.
development. I mean, I just think it's a really great picture of what it's actually like to be
Yes.
a freelancer and an entrepreneur
Uh-huh.
in the world.
Yeah. It's not like 10% of it is glamorous, but
Right.
still worth it.
Yeah. I love that. So thank you. Thank you for sharing your tenacity and your skills and your beauty with the world. And I'm really grateful to know you.
You too. Thank you so much for asking me. I was blown away.
You're so welcome.
Thank you again for joining me for another fantastic episode of Permission to Leap. If you're looking to take your next big leap, be sure to check out my book that guides you through the 6 phases of the leap process at http://permissiontoleap.today. My book will support you in moving through your leap with more clarity and ease, because there needs to be more people like you living an inspired life and making a positive difference in the world. Much love today and always. I will catch you on the next episode of Permission to Leap.